Hey guys, you know who I am. So today, we're going to take a look at all of my game consoles. Let's get right into this. So the first two consoles are portable consoles, and one of which I don't even have with me. That being the Game Boy Pocket. I think that was Luke's, my brother's. Yeah, that was Luke's. It's kind of passed on to me. I don't remember that much of it, although I did have some pretty killer times with the Wario Land 2. So the next thing we got here is the DSi. So the DSi is an updated model of the DS. Me and another friend had this one. The things that make it different from the DS is that there is no backwards compatibility for Game Boy Advance games, and there's a camera feature, which I don't believe was present on the original DS. I never owned the original DS. Most of the memories I have with this thing come from my childhood. I remember when I was younger I used to take this on the bus into daycare. Little kids would rip them out of other kids' hands and then fight other kids over it. Even when it wasn't happening, we got chewed out just for having them. Ryan, Nick, I'm looking at you. Hey, by the way, check out this recording of me when I was in 7th grade.
Hello there, my name is Hank Hill. I sell propane and propane accessories. Dang it, Bobby. Hello there, my name is Hank Hill.
My God, are you still talking? Alright, up next is the Sega Genesis.
Lucas used to own one of these, but his died out. When high school started up, I bought another one. It's not in the greatest condition as it has trouble turning on. Interestingly though, I can use the same power adapter from my slim PS2, which I'll get to in a while, to power on the Genesis rather than the big ass adapter. Now as far as games go, I'd say it's worth it for all the Mortal Kombat games. Mortal Kombat 1 up to Mortal Kombat 3, Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3, and of course Sonic. And I have never played a Super Nintendo, so I'm not sure if that's better. But yeah, here's the Genesis with its Sega CD plug-in.
The next thing here, I don't remember that much of. I didn't play it all that much. I only had like 2 games for it, but the Nintendo 64.
Very few memories of this thing. It's a good console, but I haven't played it that much. Something's supposed to go here, but I ain't sure what. I think this port is for some CD add-on that was only released in Japan.
Now this one has great nostalgia value for me. Nintendo Gamecube. Possibly the first game console I ever played.
Lucas also used to own one of these. His would constantly freeze up, and so would mine. That's one of the many things I remember about this beast. Of course I remember the great games for the Gamecube, which you can also play on the Wii. Some of my favorite titles include Spider-Man 1 and 2 based on the Raimi films, Midway Arcade Treasures 2, alone for Mortal Kombat 2 and 3, some of the SpongeBob titles, and of course the Resident Evil remake. I also remember the bottom having this compartment for the Game Boy Advance. I never had the Game Boy Advance, but thankfully I didn't try any games without it. I also remember all the errors I'd get trying to play the games on the startup screen, in the middle of the game. In fact, that's a subject I'm going to cover another day. The Gamecube is what I had growing up. and I'd recommend picking one up if ever given the chance. Not to mention, memory cards are extremely convenient. Now the Wii, passed on to me from Luke, I also remember quite a bit from my childhood, particularly Wii Sports and some Mario titles. More particularly, I remember it being backwards compatible with the Gamecube. It was a primary way to play Gamecube games at times.
As we get closer to the end of the list, let's take a look at the PlayStations. Alright, where to start but the PS1.
I have always been the PlayStation guy while Luke is the Xbox guy. However, memories of the PS1 for me are smaller. Even though it's not the greatest, I've become much too familiar with the PlayStation controller. I had good times on the PS1 with Mortal Kombat Trilogy and the Small Soldiers tie-in game. Also worth noting that all PlayStations use the same RCA input up until the PlayStation 4, where it is required you have an HDMI cable and a flat screen TV, which I personally think is stupid.
Following, the PS2, the slim model.
The PS2 was the first PlayStation console I ever owned. It is quite the console, I'll say. Lots of eerie things about it. This model here, as I mentioned, is a slim model. My pal Ryan has the original model. Back in the day, some people bought these specifically to watch movies as it was less pricier than an actual DVD player. The startup screen lets you know how many games you played, I think, and it is also backwards compatible with the PS1. Some games I'd recommend are the 3D Mortal Kombat titles and the Simpsons Hit and Run.
Succeeded by the PS3.
I distinctly remember getting this for my 12th birthday. This console is the beast despite all its casualties. It can play movies and PS1 games, but only some models play PS2 games. Not this beast. Mine also overheats way too much. Some of the games I'd recommend are WWE 2K14, Mortal Kombat 9, and Skate 3. That is, after you patch up 2K14.
And last but not least, the most current console I own, the PS4.
At last, the PS4. No backwards compatibility other than PS Now. PS3 is better in a lot of ways, particularly with the WWE title. It's better when your wrestler can have his own theme rather than garbage stock music. And why do you gotta have PS Plus to play online multiplayer? That's stupid. Games I would recommend are both Mortal Kombat titles, Spider-Man, and WWE 2K19. I don't have the PS5. Yet.
Looks like we're out of time, folks. So until next time.